him, most likely.
Exactly. If he's not in your jungle, almost in your base, then
then you know there's a team behind that. But just overall, I mean, these teams are playing really well. Cloud9 has been able to kind of spot a weakness within Gambit, really picking them apart when they start to rotate. Then yet again, Gambit being in the right position against Cloud9, catching them when they just kind of took the bait as they reeled them in. And I really want to wonder, how is this game to continue on, though? We do have Hai getting that Ravenous Hydra, so he has a great AoE damage on top of just being Riven alone. He's also 3-2, so he can put out quite a bit of damage. As you saw, he almost took Diamond and Daring down himself. He just didn't have that extra OMP needed.
If you look down and kills, well, Edward, I mean, we've come to expect that by this point, that he's always got a couple of kills on the board. It's like a 2-2-2 at this stage, 2-0-2 for Genja. Moving in. Not really got that spike yet that he needs, but that'll be coming in soon enough. Rod of Ages finished for Alex. Not really much for Diamond in the jungle. Obviously, he went in for that Sightstone so that he could have the wards available to use, and, you know, get in there at the back, kick him back into the team and what have you. He's still having a big impact though. Yeah,
I mean, even the wards he uses, like we saw earlier on, to jump around, work out for their team. But right now, Hai, he's trying to push bottom. He's trying to get some more CS here. But you saw Gambit. They were ready. They wanted to go for the gank right there. And it all comes down to all the ward coverage they have. They can spot where Cloud9 is and work around that. And, you know, Meteos, again, hasn't had much impact in this game with that ultimate. He's been shut down very well with the whole level 1 that happened with him being delayed, with Diamond able to get both of his buffs. He just still hasn't been really proactive in making kills happen. Right now, Hai, he's seen by that ward, and we have 4 members of Gambit here.
Hai, they're going to take him down from this one. The ultimate comes in, and that was an easy kill. Stood right on top of a ward. Thought he was being clever catching out Genja. In the end, comes back and bites him.
Yeah, that was really unfortunate for him. I mean, I understand what he's trying to do, pick them apart one by one. But you cannot afford to die like that. Dragon will go up in about 2 minutes, but the kills are just being given over. Diamond able to pick up another kill for himself. He was already doing quite a bit of damage with just that Doran's Blade alone, but he's going to get more scarier than that now.
That is that. Yeah, that Trinity Force, which is, as you said, the spike. Are they going to go for a fight now? I mean, if you look at Baron, this is interesting to compare it to the last game. That I remember saying at 25 minutes, I think, or 24 minutes, because I even said it wrong. There were no wards whatsoever at Baron. This time around, things very, very different, though.
Yeah, it's very true. That's a really good point, Joe, because, I mean, Gambit, they realize the game's very close. They don't have as much control over Cloud9 as they had prior. So they want to make sure that Cloud9 doesn't go for anything sneaky. And I remember hearing this, I believe it was out of Rivington saying during the summer split that Cloud9, like on average, I think it was halfway through the season, they finished games in 24 minutes. Like the fastest team in North America, and I believe even here in Europe. So they want to make sure that that's not a possibility. And it's a very smart play by Gambit.
Well, I'll tell you a secret. They're not going to finish this one in 24 minutes.
You say that.
I say that, and I'll probably be wrong with that one as well. Although I wouldn't mind, because a third game would make me a very happy person. Dragon is coming up here in 40 seconds. Cloud9 already doing a little bit of scouting out there, making sure that one's clear. And Hai's like, Elimination, use that aura, come down here and just see where that ward was that caught me out and made me die earlier on.
It's really weird to see is that Edward and Elimination have different build paths, kind of, where Edward's going to go for a little bit of damage with that Haunting Guise. He also doesn't invest into an Oracle early on. He didn't do it last game. He's not doing it again. And he's just trying to build that little bit of extra damage that can make him so deadly, where Elimination, he wants control of the map. He wants to be able to see where everyone is going, and it's worked out well for Cloud9, but right now, if Edward keeps building damage and Gambit keep getting these kills, that Oracle's not going to really mean too much.
Well, it's perfect timing, at least for a Dragon, and as it spawns in there, that ward does go down. Gambit start to collapse back in. Cloud9 are there as well. This could be the next big thing.
This is prime position, though, for Gambit to fight if Cloud9 do want to group up towards this Dragon because of the combo they have with Lissandra going in with the stun. You have the ball delivery system, but we do see some damage being traded here as we see Daring going in.
He is going to go in, but is he going to go through? There's the Cullen doing a lot of damage to Meteos. Elimination takes a blast from Genja as well, and he's got the ball on his head. Not exactly your normal ball delivery system, that's for sure. And Gambit, they've just won position right there without really any troubles.
But Meteos, he was going back. He's actually going to stay here in Gambit. They could have pushed the turret if Meteos did fall back, and Diamond did spot that, but now Dragon, they're looking at it like, hey, Meteos down to half health. We could probably go for it here. And it looks like they might make that happen, yet Meteos is still sticking around. They want to contest this. They don't want to let this slip away.
We have to watch Edward go up there to Edward because he's getting ready. He's got his flash up and his stun and Tivers are available. Let's see. Last game, he managed to control 4 men from Cloud9 at the Dragon fight. There is the smite out. It's Diamond that picks that one up. Are they going to fight? There's a shockwave. Again, hitting nothing, but there is Edward. And another 4-man stun coming in. High going to get the ultimate onto him. Balls is going very low. There is the kill at the backside as well. But Sneaky, he's still full HP. They've got to finish him off. They finally get him out of the fight. And Genja chases in. Darian dodges in as well. And that will be a kill for Darian. His first of the game. Lemon Nation escaped. Balls did escape as well, and that will be a 3-for-1 with Dragon going over to Gambit as well.
And say hello, Europe, because Edward is back. That was ridiculous yet again. He's like a Sona on an Annie, but he does more damage. He's landing these stuns left and right, and Cloud9, honestly, that was a great fight for them in the beginning. You had High in there on 2 or 3 people with his Q spam constantly doing a lot of damage. You saw Gambit escape with barely any health left on a couple of people. It's just they didn't have the extra damage they needed to finish that one off.
Incredible again from Edward. Seems to be having a lot of fun and feeling comfortable in this Gambit team.
Maybe it's because he's playing like champions that he wants to play, you know? Because he hasn't been forced to play Sona just yet. That might change though.
It's probably in his contract actually.
It's like, don't make me play Sona.
To play Sona ever again.
I can see the photoshops on Annie's face now already happening for him.
Oh no. The Sona one did enough damage to us all. Please do not Photoshop an image of Edward on Annie. Alright, that's already encouraged a few more thousand people to do that. So let's talk about this top lane, because both Darian and Genja there, Cloud9 sending 4 men up to that top side to stop that push.
Yeah, see, what happened in that last fight was that we saw Balls put down the equalizer to cut off Gambit, to cut off like a retreat to split them in half. But even though it worked, it kept them slow enough for High to get in there, it just wasn't enough. The rest of Cloud9 didn't have what they needed to jump on top of them. They didn't have the ability to get Lulu in there and get that knock-up onto people, at least the ultimate alone. And because of that, Gambit were able to survive long enough, were able to retreat far enough, mitigate quite a bit of damage and turn that one around. Things still can't change. Like, Cloud9 still can win these team fights, but if they keep letting kills slip over, eventually Gambit will be so far ahead in items that it'll be really hard, almost impossible to come back from.
Clearing up everything that they can there. And the Oracles, we mentioned that earlier, a little bit different between these two teams. It's Diamond that did the same in game number 1 for what brief Oracle time we really had there. It was just a fighting game, basically. There's the blue buff actually going to be picked up. I didn't quite see where it was picked up there, but Meteos is going to dive into this one. It was Alex, I think, that got that blue. Where is the shockwave? He's playing around with it, waiting for the right time, but High dives into the middle of him. There is a shockwave, gets 3 of them, but can they get away from this one? Alex taking a ton of damage. Diamond going to go low here as well as Alex falls down, and that will be a double kill coming out for Sneaky. The final one picked up by Meteos, and Cloud9 turned back around, and only 2 men surviving that one from Gambit.
And this time in this fight, they got the equalizer down perfectly, and they were able to collapse on top of it. They were able to finally follow it up, and with that, they pick up those 3 kills. Cloud9, phenomenal play. Yeah, they easily could go for Banner. They have the people, they have the health, and only Darian and Genja are there to stop them, but that was so well done. They made it so Edward couldn't get a giant stun onto the enemy team with a flash engage, and they come out ahead. They might come out with Baron on top of this.
Oh, balls. Oh, wow. He's actually going to go down here. Genja picks up that one. He's now on a rampage, and they've stopped doing Baron. They've done enough to stop this Baron attempt, but will Cloud9 turn around and go back in for it? No. They find it too risky at this point, and I think that's the right call as well. However, they need to be careful, because if they leave this one completely as Edward gets hit by the Baron, putting a ward down, doesn't like vision. Well, how would you like it if someone had vision of your house, Jason? You wouldn't.
They would see some weird things.
I'm sure they would, but none of them should be delved into onto this stream. Thank you very much. Gambit here are, in fact, now just pushing straight up that mid lane, and why not? They've seen that Cloud9 have backed away from that one. In fact, I say it's Gambit, it's more like just Genja that did that.
He's being very aggressive. I mean, you even saw at that blue buff, which kicked off that fight, he was the one to get caught and eventually into a fear by Meteos. But Cloud9, I mean, we're 26.5 minutes in. Gold is pretty much even. Kills are pretty much dead even here. Turrets are very close. And right now, it's really anyone's game. Cloud9 did such a great job of getting back into the game when they were losing team fights constantly. They were able to turn just one around, and that's all they really needed, because look at Sneaky's score. 6-2 right now. Genja 4-5. The AD carriers are really stepping up this game.
So, a bit of a quiet period maybe. We've got Dragon coming up here in just over a minute's time. Lemon Nation being chased by Edward, who might get in trouble. Actually, they've stunned him up. Sneaky's dead. Completely caught out. He was like, yeah, I'm going to kill Edward. That'll feel good. But actually he ended up just dying.
It might cost him a lot,
though. That was a little strange. Meteos is doing the red buff on Gambit's side. High is actually down, pushing the inner turret. And Gambit are just going to go rampaging straight through the mid.
Yeah, with Meteos backing away, he's going to be able to finally get back and help. But without an AD carry, without the AD carry who has all the kills basically on the team to be here, they're going to get an inhibitor off of this.
Yeah, Equalizer going down, but that's only going to get rid of the minions. And we can see the pushing. Genja going very aggressive once again. Doesn't get feared. And they're going to take an inhib from that. That's a bad decision-making overall from Cloud9.
It really is. And, you know, Gambit, we always say, give him a finger, they'll take the whole arm. They punished Cloud9 for having Sneaky overextend by taking an inhibitor. Now they have the opportunity to go for a Baron whenever they want to, or just to kind of split push. And with this Oracle, they're baiting him at ball. He's going to check it.
He doesn't need to. They're just going to go straight in for him on that one. We see the flash away. Meteos going in at the back. Darian waiting. He wants to get his ulti off, and he is going to get it off onto High this time. Meanwhile, Diamond being forced away. There's a two-man shockwave. The Cullen blasting through there. That's a lot of damage, but they focus in. High going to go down. Genja absolutely beasting them there at the back as Diamond comes in again. Everyone's really low again, but Genja is cleaning up this one. Sneaky uses the barrier. Genja dashes in. Triple kill. Catch my breath. Lemon Nation headed up towards the top here to get away from them. They're not going to push past that one. Meteos survived as well. And I say they're not going to push. Alex was having a bit of a luck, but Lemon Nation able to speed off. And Genja, considering how out of position he was at the start of the inhibitor there, when he just dashed straight into him, no problem, he handled that fight so well.
He really did. And the thing was, we have to think, that was a Gambit engage. They went straight in for that, but Cloud9 were able to turn it around, pick up those kills. They got him really early on. But because of the position of Genja, just like you said, because of Alex being so tanky right now, they were able to stay alive long enough, allowing Genja just to go to town on the enemy team. And from that fight alone, he's now 7-0-5, Joe. 207 CS. His items are getting to the point where it's really ridiculous, as he was sitting on 2,500 gold. Picks up a Last Whisper free of, well, not free of charge, but at once. And right now, Cloud9. This is going to be very hard to come back.
New addition to the shop. If you do well, you get a free Last Whisper. Best offer of the century.
It just costs you gold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Diamond with that Oracle clearing out, and Pink Ward was basically a waste of gold at that point. Diamond here. And the rest of Gambit setting up for a dragon. 30 minutes almost into this game. Yeah, that was a good decision to put the ward down. Hidden vision there of that blue buff. Does he have his smite available? No, not quite. So that blue buff should be taken away, and will be. It's Alex that picks that one up. Meanwhile, Genja did the dragon all on his own.
He's so strong right now at this point that with Cloud9, if they don't focus him down, well, the question is, who do they focus at this point? Alex is going to be doing a lot of damage with that blue buff up. Darren's going to be providing a lot of control, and then to even get to Genja, you have to pass through an Annie on top of that. It's going to be very hard to get back into that side, and Genja, he's taking full advantage of that. He's playing his positioning so perfectly, and with Diamond coming around from the backside here, Cloud9 they either have to fight or give this one up.
Yeah, oh, Darian doesn't follow through there on the claw. Diamond actually being hit here by Meteos at the back. This is a bit of a personal jungle fight there off to the side. The rest of the team say, just leave me alone, leave us alone. We just want a 1v1, see who's better right now. Meteos actually did more damage in that one, and Diamond deciding to back away. But Gambit not doing the same here. They're going to wait and see if they can siege down this inhibitor.
Oh, Edward, his flash is going to be up very soon. He's even got, I believe that's a distortion enchant for the flash cooldown, and he has Tibbers up. He's looking for another flash stun here. It's going to be a little bit harder to do in this base when they can spread out. But either way, this middle wave is pushing. Meteos is going to clear that one out because he has the ultimate to get available. The Equalizer coming in, but just to keep them away and off this turret. They don't want to let this one fall.
I have to say as well, Balls has been very quiet these last two games. This game certainly a lot more present than in the last one. Couple of good equalizers, but just overall not had the impact I think that Cloud9 really need out of him, especially with this Rumble.
And when he does actually make his presence known in the fight we just saw prior, like, he can really make this thing happen. But the fight breaks out here. Genja getting chased.
Yeah, they're going in towards Genja there at the back. Darian using the ultimate on himself, but look at the damage and the shockwave coming out of Alex Siege. High's gonna fall here. They've absolutely obliterated them, and Genja pushing in onto the backside. Alex will steal that one away, and there's the flash in from Edward. Didn't quite have the damage to finish that one off, but this is going to be the game here. Gambit have those super minions coming up the mid lane. They're going to take down the turrets. Only Lemon Nation left standing. Gambit Gaming going to continue the Cloud9 European curse and win 2-0 to go into the final of the Intel Extreme Masters here in Cologne.
And that game was so well played. I really have to say both teams played that to a top level, but Gambit coming out ahead, constantly catching Cloud9 in bad positions, catching high early in the game, catching sneaky, which gave them inhibitor, coming out ahead right there. But both teams really showing that they're the best of the best in their region.
Such an incredible game there. Yes, it didn't go to 3 maps, or 3 matches, technically. But to be honest, it had all the action in it anyway, didn't it, from 2. I just want to special mention to Genja because the old, passive, boring Genja that was always reliable, they've thrown him out the window here, it seems, and brought in some new Genja that's maybe sometimes a little bit too aggressive. 9-0-7 he ends that one there with Lucian, playing Jinx in the last game. A player here who was very much stuck in his ways, I think, in terms of champion pool, and didn't really like to venture out of his comfort zone. Always bought a tier on everything, which is not done at all so far this tournament. Picking up, Trinity Force, Bloodthirst, the last whisper here on that Lucian. 9-0-7, so incredibly well played.
And what's really funny is that in Intel Extreme Masters Katowice, when they played against the Azubus, he changed up his playstyle for being really defensive to aggressive. But then before LCS started, he went back to his old ways. He went really defensive, and it's nice to see him changing things up, finally playing aggressive, and just like you said, 9-0-7 score, he really helped his team out. The position, every single fight, it shows the true power of an AD carry late game. But the entire team, both teams, really well played from both of them. Really well done team fights. I hope they break some of those down because they were really intricate in how they worked.
Yeah, and Darian as well. He managed his 1 kill. He got it in the second game. 1-4-14 he actually finished in this, but over the course of both games, his ultimates, the way that he set up these fights were absolutely incredible. This just looks like a Gambit that have been together for years. It almost looks as if the summer split never happened and Edward never went anywhere.
Yeah, they seem to be really focused. Maybe they're all really happy, like the mood, like we've been saying. Before the games, they're joking around, they're laughing, they're having a good time. Maybe Edward coming back, it kind of was like a sigh of relief to everyone, like, ugh, finally we have him back. He's playing at a top notch. He can't play Sona, as we see. Xpeke, apparently. Really enjoying that. But he's got to win it, though.
Colin McGonigal, yeah, he's got to win it. He's got to defend what is European pride still at this point, because Gambit taking down Cloud9 puts Gambit into the grand final. After this, we're going to be going into our second semi-final. Xpeke's already got one hand on the trophy, but standing in their way is going to be CLG, who yesterday didn't skip a beat in their victory over to Quality Blue. And honestly, if they play like that today, they said it, Doublelift said it when he was talking to Carl, we have practiced a lot and we intend to do very well at this tournament. Fnatic, they've had the change both in the team, obviously with Reckless coming back, and also in the management team with Harry, their manager, actually leaving. So not sure what to expect from Fnatic, I have to be honest.
There's a lot at stake in this game, let alone just the rivalry between Doublelift and Reckless, but Yellowstar.
That's going to be just amazing.
He has a bone to pick, because if you think back to Season 2 World Championships, he was on SK playing against CLG in that ridiculous teleport-in base race that happened, and he couldn't hold them off. Him and I believe it was Aranea playing Shen that game. And he's looked at that game that's haunted his dreams. I want my revenge. And
well, that and the fact that Doublelift called him, I think the words were shaky yesterday.
There you go.
I think that's more of the bone to pick for Yellowstar from that one. But that will be the best of 3 that's coming up in a little while. But first of all, I'm going to take a look back at some of the key moments of that game with Demon and Crepo.
Thank you very much, and wow, what a pair of games that was. Gambit have turned up to win this tournament. I talked about Intel Extreme Masters being their tournament. Why the hell did I bet against Gambit? I have no idea why. So, Crepo, lots to talk about in those games. Level 1. Let's talk about both level 1 games to start with, because at the start, you said when we were upstairs, it's like, this is Gambit's level 1 tactic.
Yeah, initially, I have to admit, I was wrong saying Gambit is always passive. Passive is the word I'm looking for.
That's the word you're after.
Yeah, English is very hard sometimes. But they have this signature move where Eddie and Genja, or the support and Genja, basically move out and try to contest the blue buff, which they predict is going to be done by 2 people, and then they force the jungler and the top laner off of it, and hopefully even steal it, and that's really good. in theory, Cloud9 could mirror that at the other side, but they weren't ready for it, and that definitely gave Gambit the edge game 1. And then the second game, they basically read Cloud9 like a book, predicted the invade again. It ended up being a 2-for-2 trade, but Gambit was definitely ready for that, so definitely on top of their level 1 game.
And both of those games, it seemed that Gambit just singled out balls. He was absolutely getting nailed in both games, had no chance to farm. Every time they just kept the pressure on that Rumble.
Yeah, you have to admit, those second game, though, 3v1, Balls really couldn't do that much.
Yeah.
He's a utility person like Rumble. He can still do well in fights. He can try and roam. Every time he tried to roam, he was still level 5. I mean, that's so much going against him. Like, he got frozen by Darien. By the time the wave reached his tower, he was level 5. Darien was level 7. Gambit was controlling the pace of the game. They pushed when they wanted. They rotated pretty well. Cloud9 had some really good fights coming back whenever they actually managed to get Gambit on the back foot. Whenever Alex had to use Shockwave to disengage, for example, then that's when Cloud9 could re-engage. But otherwise, it was really hard, and Gambit just controlled the pace so well.
And there was the fight, if I recall, in game 1, where Gambit were backing off. And then Cloud9 just chased, and it was like there was no objective to gain. They just simply chased them into the jungle, and we were all sat there saying, why are they doing this?
Yeah, it's basically what Gambit does really well. I mean, they lure you in, and then they activate the see hero, kill hero switch. And actually, that's something I want to point out. Their composition was built around that. Both of the times they had Annie support. They also had Lissandra, so that's double CC, crowd control effects, stuns and snares, etc. that can chain on top of each other, kill one guy. Game 1, they had Kha'Zix on Alex Each that could jump around and finish people off. We saw that as well. Beautiful zoning game 1 by Darien as well. He just went in, pushed them back, went back. They come a little closer. Eddie jumps in, tibbers a couple of people, and then Alex just waits at the outskirts of the fight, jumps in, gets the resets, jumps out again, and you can see that this is a coordinated Gambit. This is a really strong Gambit that's showed up today.
Do we see this as the Gambit of old, or are we simply putting it down to this is a well-rested Gambit that's had chance to not travel so much like they're going to be once again come the LCS? Is this simply what they've done?
I mean, Gambit of old or strong Gambit, I don't care, but it's really nice to see them performing that well. I just hope that it doesn't deteriorate over time once they start going back and forth every week, because now Eddie, he was at home playing at ease, playing solo queue, dual queuing Genja every time, but once he starts traveling from Omsk back and forth again, he's going to lose a day on each side of the LCS, and hopefully, for Gambit at least, and not hopefully for us, that's not going to punish him too hard.
And talking of Eddie, and effectively all the supports here, You've had a bone to pick with the supports lately with these Doran shields. We've not seen one yet.
Yeah, everybody keeps buying it in solo queue and had to mess with me because they know how much I hate Doran shield. But they've all threatened to play Doran shield in competitive and watch me cry. But so far, none of them had the balls to do it. So I'm still waiting for Eddie to bring out the Doran shield.
Well, we'll see whether that happens. Of course, semi-finals coming up soon. But we want to hear what Alex Each has to say with Shocks.
We sure do, D-Man, and he has a bone to pick with you, because how does it make you feel that D-Man betted against you?
Yeah, I'm upset, and I think that our team lost one friend today.
It's not a laughing matter, but anyway, seriously, great series here and a great swoop in Game 1. You jumping around as Kha'Zix, and how much do you think of that dominating performance derived of that invade you guys planned on blue in the beginning?
So we were not planning that invade. That is some kind of the stuff that happened because we got the vision on them, and we saw that their double lane is not there, so it was pretty easy invade. And after that invade, we got ahead, though I died mid, so I needed to rotate to Rumble, but it was really easy for me and Diamond to kill Rumble over and over, and then I got farmed and could roll the game.
Absolutely, and then come Game 2, your nemesis, Riven, in the mid lane, you're up against her with Orianna. How did that go?
So, like Orianna against Riven is not the best matchup for Orianna, but I needed to pick something safe, and so I decided that Orianna would be the best pick, and I knew that our late game is so much stronger, because like you could see that in late game they couldn't kill me at all. I got like 4k HP with all the shields. So only thing that we needed was to survive the early and mid game, and we did it, so.
Is there anything you think that they did wrong, particularly in picks, that could have, if they chose something else, they could have gotten you in trouble, or were you just prepared for anything they might have had?
So I think that like they were too focused on AD mid and the AP top. So, and these were like the weak points of the team overall, because like Rumble was pretty smashed every game, and in the mid lane, Riven and Zed, like they got really good early. So okay, mid game, but in late game they were falling hard behind.
All right, so great stuff here from you guys. Again, another IEM final. Do you want your EU matchup versus Fnatic, or do you want to play CLG, and why?
So Boris says that we want to play Fnatic and it will be EU final.
All right, well, a lot of Europeans in the studio, very happy with that. Great performance here. Good luck later on in the final, of course. And we're going to go over to Paul for an update on social media.
Thanks very much. Yeah, we are going to eventually, when the cameraman wakes up. There we go. Lovely, thank you. We are going to update you with our social media competition that's been going on. We've been having a lot of champions that you've designed put on our Facebook page, facebook.com/IEM. We're still accepting entries as well. So if you've got an idea for a champion that you aren't currently seeing in Riot's League of Legends and you'd like to see it in there, then send your suggestions to us via the comments section on the page. We're going to go through a couple, in fact 3. We've got 3 in here. This is the first one. Have a look at this. This is just a drawing. If we can throw that one up. There we go. It's pretty good. Look at that. That looks that's pretty decent. So that's an example of a good drawing. There's also a full it's all right, you can leave that one up. There's actually a full workout here. This chap has actually drawn, animated, and explained everything there is about this champion in one page, which is extraordinary. It's a slightly old one. He admits it's a few months old, but how cool is that? The Siamese twins. I quite like that. It's very good. So keep those coming. We also have an example of champions that aren't really champions. Yeah. There's always one. I guess we'll accept any entries, but only some of them can win, thankfully. Do keep them coming, though. We're enjoying your entries, both the good, the bad, and the ugly, of course, coming in. So thank you very much for those so far. We'll look forward to seeing more of those, and we'll give you some updates as we go. Match number 2 is next. It's the second semi-final. Can Fnatic once again claim glory and make it an all-Euro final like Alex wants? Or can the Americans fight back? We'll find out soon.
This is it. That mighty thing. That thinks, blinks, and winks. You can dress it up, you can dress it down. You can even bedazzle it and make it loud. It comes in black, it comes in white. It comes in orange. What a sight. You can spin it and make it dance. Anything is possible when given the chance. It can say everything about you, or very little at all. It can fit in your pocket, on a desk, or on a wall. And it comes in sizes from big to small. From tablets to smartphones to all-in-ones. It can be used for work, for fun, and even both with the 2-in-1. But there's something meaningful beyond the bling that makes them run and do their thing. It's quite a special, hard-to-see part. The brain, the brawn, and the beating heart. And if you manage to set the rest aside, you'll come to realize the most important part is inside.
Professional-grade communication tool. The choice of professional teams. Perfect stream viewing experience. Chosen by online streamers. Easy to use voice messenger service. Chosen by over 12 million gamers.
Communication is always vital when competing in tournaments. Winning a match requires perfect coordination. You cannot win by yourself.
Raid Call. Communication for winners.
As a professional gamer, I need something really fast and reliable.
Dude, lagging in games sucks. That's why I use HyperX memory.
HyperX memory is super great.